Hello and welcome back to Bolt. This is BioEnchanted, and today we'll be going through the fourth level, which is it's an interesting enough one, but it's one that I had some trouble with when it comes to aiming Penny's stealth attack. So there's a lot of editing in this first part of the level. Of course, we have a little upgrade over here. Very easy to find, but also easy to miss. It's actually easy to see from a different angle we'll approach those stairs from a little bit later. As you can see, it's time for us to do the thing we saw Penny do in the last level, which was spinning those discs to raise the temple for Bolt. I quite like this level because I like the idea that it's like running in parallel with Bolt's level. It's a neat idea. That's just me remembering the controls. It's been a while. And of course, there's two guys here, so we have to be very careful not to get spotted. Otherwise, that'll make things quite a mess. But I have to cook quite a lot here because I have a lot of trouble aiming that attack of Penny's, and it uses an annoying amount of her meter. So this is just me. There we go. That was one that actually hit him. I was trying to hit the first guy, but he got hit by accident, and it's like fine. So let's move on to hitting the other guy, because I stood here for like 2 minutes trying to hit these idiots, and it just kept missing. It was so frustrating. So here's one we actually hit him. The problem is, of course, it's an irregular shaped area, so like things like that plants, for example, just ahead of us there, actually block the projectile. It's a very strange shape, so it's hard to hit guys from there, because it's not just a series of squares that you can just kind of bounce things off of. Here we are. But while this level is a little bit the next level after this one and the one after that are pretty good. I really like those levels, but we'll see those when we've got to this one. And this one does introduce at least a new mechanic. It's kind of fun. So here, example, is the camera angle where it's easier to actually like spot the thing. Like, I think you can actually see it from up there. It's really coming down the rope as well. So it gives you another chance of grabbing that before you miss it completely. And that's Bolt learning a super bark. I mean the higher. So let's take care of these guys. But yeah, as you can see, it's much easier to take care of them from a more regular area. Because most of the guards are now gone, but this guy is still going to be a bit of a pain, because I never quite figured out how to approach him without being spotted. I don't think he ever actually turns away, so you just have to kind of deal with him. Well, dealt with. That wasn't too bad. Now this can be a little bit tricky to see, but there's a little groove up here. Just need to attach the wheelbarrow in there, and we're good. And we're coming up with something that'll actually serve as a kind of a puzzle later on as well. Later on in this level, I mean. And it's not that much of a puzzle, but it introduces the concepts here, at least. Paying attention to where he's facing so I don't accidentally get spotted by him. Luckily the camera swings early enough that you don't really have much of a problem with getting seen by him. There we go. That's more like how you're supposed to use that. Like, effectively, not like an idiot. Of course, we can't quite get up here yet because there's this block in the way. So it's time to solve a small puzzle to remove the block. I quite like how these levels look, even if they're playing on the outside of the temple areas. Bolt and Penny aren't that interesting. Well, at least it's a pretty enough level. So the gameplay is a little bit standard because it's the beginning of the game, so of course nothing that spectacular is going to happen yet. It doesn't take long. And this is at least visually nice. But don't worry, things will get very spectacular as the game goes on. There are some really great set pieces. And there's Bolt taking care of the helicopter. There he goes. I quite like that stuff as well, that you can see like the camera angles just to give just the right kind of perspective of seeing how impressive Bolt's feats are from Penny's point of view. And here, of course, we have something a bit tricky because this is introducing time platforms. So we're going to have to start being a little bit more careful sometimes when it comes to some of these features. And yeah, as far as I'm aware, this level only has 2 upgrades. I could never find if there was a 3rd one. But as far as I can tell, looking at YouTube videos of the level, there seems to only be these 2 upgrades. So we'll get the 2nd one in a minute. Here's the first actual, like, the main use of these is actually a puzzle. Because you can see there are multiple ones to play with. And here we have an upgrade over here. And we have a door there that's very easy to accidentally have trouble finding your way into. Because as you can see, moving some of these moves these temple parts out. This should unlock the... No, that just opens the door and moves that out further. But given how we remember how we moved it out in the first place, surely pressing this button again will move it back. Yep. And that's the puzzle. It's a little... If you don't think to go back to that previous one, because it goes completely off screen so it can be easy to forget, it can be a little tricky to think of how to do that puzzle, but there we have it. Now we have the actual puzzle solved, and we can get up here. And lift more the temple. And we're coming up to a fairly interesting mechanic. But first, a cute little puzzle. It's purely a platforming puzzle, but it's a cute one. So have to be very quick once we pull these, so we can get on the other side before, yep, the wall opens. And of course, we need to use these to get up with the wheel bar. It gives you plenty of time, but it's a nice little, like, it gives you an idea. And there is the big super block. So here is Penny's other mechanic, hacking.
Security breach initiated.
It's a twin stick shooter.
This will only take a minute.
Yeah, Neo Automata completely ripped off the Bolt game. That's the story, I'm sticking to it. But yeah, as you can see, that little pink thing is showing a different firing pattern. If we were to pick that up, it would have given us a spread shot, which I think we'll see in a minute anyway. We didn't pick it up that time, but here we go. This is showing off the spread shot. This is actually quite a fun little mechanic. I quite like these little hacking minigame things, because these kind of twin stick shooty bits are always kind of fun. I like the music as well. It's just like a neat little bit to mess with the gameplay a little bit and give you a little something extra to do beyond just sneaking around people, which can get a little bit dry, especially in comparison to Bolt's levels, which can have some really interesting things going on. Because he's superhuman. Well, super canine, I guess would be the best term. But like, just generally the actual firing patterns are quite satisfying to use and everything like that. They do get a bit tricky later on. This is the first one though, so of course this one's fairly simple, with not that many enemies at once, but they do swarm you very hard later on. These levels will start to test you when it comes to like keeping your health up. And you will need these little crosses that show up and of course give you more health. There we go. So now we will be inside the temple for the next level. And of course the next 2 levels are actually going to be Bolt levels. And this upcoming one has some really interesting secrets. But we'll be looking into that when we get to that next video.
There's
For
the
now, here's a
dog.
small preview,
I'm gonna go check the bolt.
and I'll see you next time when we go to Into the Deep. I hope you enjoy the video. Goodbye.